Ever wondered why that seemingly simple soldering project turned into an endless nightmare of broken circuits and uncooperative solder? Soldering, like any other skill, has its own set of common mistakes and misconceptions. But fear not. Today, we're here to reveal some of the most effective tricks to turn that soldering frown upside down. First things first, always remember the golden rule of soldering. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Whether it's the soldering iron tip, the components you're working with, or the solder itself, ensure everything is clean. This will prevent any unwanted substances from interfering with the soldering process. Next, it's time to address one of the most common soldering mistakes: using the soldering iron to heat the solder directly. This may seem like the logical thing to do, but it's not. The trick is to heat the component and the pad, then introduce the solder. The heat from the component and the pad will melt the solder, creating a solid and reliable connection. Thirdly, avoid the pitfall of using too much solder. More isn't always better. In fact, excessive solder can lead to problems like solder bridges, which can cause short circuits. Aim for just enough to cover the connection point, creating a shiny, volcano-shaped mound. Another trick to have up your sleeve is using the right type of solder. Not all solder is created equal. For most electronics projects, opt for rosin core solder. This type of solder contains a flux core that helps clean the metal surfaces and improve the electrical connection. Moving on, the power of patience cannot be overstated. Soldering isn't a race. Take your time to properly heat the components before applying the solder. Rushing the process can lead to cold solder joints, which are brittle and unreliable. Finally, practice good soldering hygiene. Always return the soldering iron to its stand when not in use, and maintain a well-ventilated workspace to avoid inhaling any harmful fumes. So, to summarize, the tricks to successful soldering include ensuring everything is clean, heating the component and the pad instead of the solder, using just the right amount of solder, choosing the correct type of solder, practicing patience, and maintaining a safe and clean workspace. Remember, like any skill, mastering soldering takes time and practice. But with these tricks in your toolkit, you're well on your way to becoming a soldering superstar. So, gear up, keep practicing, and before you know it, you'll be soldering like a pro.